What's good, y'all? On today's video, I'm breaking down my predictions for the 2019 Grammy nominations. Are y'all ready? It's lit.
I came to vibe, you came to function, just do that, baby. Don't worry about nothing, no. I came to vibe, you came to function, just do that, baby. Don't worry about nothing, no.
Yeah, what up, y'all? It's your boy Bright here, the R&B kid. I'm back again with another video. But if this is your first time on my channel, please go ahead and consider subscribing, because on this channel I talk all things music and entertainment while keeping it real, but always trying to find the bright side of everything, alright? And after you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell next to it so you can get the post notifications. So every time I post a new video, you're gonna see it. Alright, y'all, so before I start the video, I have to give a quick shout out to Stan Lee. I just want to say rest in peace to Stan Lee. Mr. Stan Lee, please rest in peace. Y'all know Stan Lee as the creator of the Marvel comics and pretty much the whole Marvel universe and the whole Marvel world. There isn't enough that can be said about what Stan Lee has given to the world with his creativity and with his work. You know, he's really changed and shifted and shaped so many lives with his work and with his passion. So thank you, Mr. Stan Lee, for your life. Thank you for what you gave to the world. Thank you for your creativity, for everything you've done for all of us who really love Marvels or comics, or who just really love everything that has come from the Marvel universe. Thank you for everything you've done for all of us, and just thank you for what you've done for the world. You lived a great long life and you are a whole legend out here in these streets. So Mr. Stan Lee, rest in peace. Alright, y'all, but let's get into the video. Like I said, guys, this is going to be a breakdown of my 2019 Grammy nomination predictions. For those of y'all who follow me, y'all know I'm a Grammy head. I'm a Grammy maven. I'm obsessed with the Grammys. I love talking about them. I love discussing them. I also made this video last year, so if you've not checked out that video, go check it out. I'll probably put the card up right here. The nominations will come out on December 5th, and the show actually goes down in February of 2019. But we still have a long way, but Grammy season is underway, so let's get it. I really feel like the Grammys are important because just like I feel like actors should be able to look at the Oscars as a benchmark for achievement in their fields, and just like I feel like you'd want an award for whatever you know, whenever you have a really great achievement in your job or your line of work, you want an award. I feel like musicians deserve that same type of recognition in some type of way. And even though the Grammys, disclaimer, even though I fully agree that the Grammys have been trash, especially as of late, like especially in the past few years, they've really been trash with a lot of their decisions that they made, I still feel like it's important for us to have something like the Grammys for artists to look forward to and for artists to dream of getting. Unfortunately, like I said, the Grammys have been trashed recently because it's always been a popularity contest, but especially as of the last few years, it's really been more about a popularity contest than really who put out the best music in any given year. The Grammys is supposed to be awarding the best music, but lately it's been more like just the biggest music, which naturally happens because a lot of times the best music really does end up being the biggest music. That's always happened, but really with music, especially with mainstream music, really on a decline, I think, you know, critically for me, the Grammys have not really shown that they're not willing to let go of, you know, ratings by, you know, nominating big name artists and nominating big name songs and big name albums in favor of, you know, more smaller scale artists and songs and albums that really made more of a critical impact and really were more rewarding of listens in favor of bigger songs and bigger albums. So it is what it is. That's the name of the game, and that's why they're trash, especially in the last few years. But I still feel like the Grammys are important for music history, so I feel like it's important for people like me who love all types of genres of music. I love listening to every type of, you know, genre, and I love all types of music. I feel like it's important for someone like me to really give my 2 cents as to what the Grammys are doing right and wrong every year that they come out with their nominations and their wins. As somewhat of an artifact of, you know, history, you know, so it is what it is. But some quick little notes, guys. The way I'm going to structure this video is I'm only going to talk about my final picks in every category, and I'll name off some alternatives for every category, but I'm not going to spend too much time listing off all of my alternatives because I don't want to make this video too long. So I'll put my full list for alternative options at the end of the video. I'll probably just put them in like pictures that you can just like mull over for yourself. So before you start commenting down below, look at my full list for alternative options if you're wondering why I probably didn't mention your favorite, you know, artist or song or album. So go look at those first before you start commenting down below. And Also be aware that the Grammy deadline for this year was from October 2017 to September 2018. So any song or album or artist that was out before October of last year or after September of this year will not be included in this year's group of nominations. So just be aware of that, in case you're wondering why I didn't name some songs or albums that you thought would have been in this year's nominations, because they missed the eligibility window. All right. So I think that's all I gotta say about the Grammy nominations, y'all. I think I can get into the video. So with all that being said, my picks for the Grammy nominations 2019. Y'all ready? Let's go. Alright, so a big change for this year is all the general categories going from 5 nominations to 8 nominations. I think this is actually a great idea. I think I mentioned it in one of my drop episodes earlier this year. I think it's a great idea in terms of there being more diversity in the general categories and, you know, giving more recognition to those people who probably wouldn't have made the nominations if it wasn't for them being that 6th or 7th or 8th place slot. So I'm glad that this is happening, because, you know, it gives more room for more diversity in the general categories. But unfortunately, I don't think it actually does anything to actually help pick the winner. I don't think it makes picking the winner any easier, but it is what it is. But let me know what y'all think about record of the year, song of the year, album of the year, and best new artist now being 8 nominations as opposed to 5 nominations. All right, y'all. But with all that being said, we're gonna start off with the first category. We're gonna talk about record of the year. So for record of the year, my final 8, I have Bebe, Rexha, and Florida Georgia Line with Meant to Be, Ed Sheeran and Beyonce with Perfect, Zedd, Maren Morris, and Gray with The Middle, Drake with God's Plan, Childish, Gambino with This Is America, Cardi B, Bad Bunny, and J Balvin with I Like It, Maroon 5 and Cardi B with Girls Like You, and the Carters, also known as Jay-Z and Beyonce, with APESHIT. So those are my final 8 picks for the record of the year. In terms of my alternatives in this category, I think other people that can pop up into this category that have a shot at a nomination are Post Malone and 21 Savage with Rockstar, even though I don't want that song to be nominated personally. Kendrick Lamar and SZA with All the Stars, Juice WRLD with Lucid Dreams, Taylor Swift with Delicate, Shawn Mendes with In My Blood, Ariana Grande with God Is a Woman, Ella Mai with Boo'd Up, and Camila Cabello with Havana, the live version. So this category I think is pretty good. I think I did a good job of picking my final 8, and also my alternatives. There are way more alternatives I have that you can look at the end of this video, but I feel pretty good about this 8, guys. But if there are a few people that I think are vulnerable for their spot in the final 8, I think that's Jay-Z and Beyonce with APESHIT, and probably Bebe, Rexha, and Florida Georgia Line with Meant to Be. I think those 2 could probably not be nominated in place of some other people, but I hope they do get nominated, because I think they deserve those nominations in my opinion. The interesting thing to note about this category is that if my final 8 actually pans out to be what I think it's gonna be, which in my final 8, that means that you'll have 2 women of color, 2 black women, being nominated for record of the year twice in the same year. Beyonce with her duet with Ed Sheeran, Perfect, and her duet, I guess, with her husband Jay-Z, APESHIT, and Cardi B with her own song I Like It, and her collaboration with Maroon 5, Girls Like You. If this finally actually pans out the way I think it will, or at least if their songs are included in the final 8, that means 2 black women will be nominated for record of the year twice in the same year. That's insane, y'all. That's insane. And if that happens, I'll be so proud of Beyonce and Cardi B for that achievement. Not even in different years, in the same fucking year. That'll be wild. Oh man, I love being black. Alright, next up in the general categories, we have Song of the Year, y'all. Song of the Year. To me, this is a very prestigious award because it awards songwriting as opposed to the actual performance of a song, which low-key is more important than actually who performs the song, is actually who writes it, because that's what's remembered about the song for life. Not exactly how someone sung a song, but how it's written. So this is a very prestigious award in my opinion. So in my final 8 for this year, for Song of the Year, I have Bebe, Rexha, and Florida Georgia Line with Meant to Be, Zedd, Maren Morris, and Gray with The Middle, Drake with God's Plan, Ella Mai with Boo'd Up. Shout out Ella Mai. The album is fire. Go check it out if you haven't already. I did a video for that album, so go check that out too as well. That album is amazing. Ariana Grande with No Tears Left to Cry, Childish Gambino with This Is America, Maroon 5 and Cardi B with Girls Like You, and Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper with Shallow. And even though Bradley Cooper did not write the song, so he wouldn't be actually nominated for this category, but I just said his name because that's how you'll recognize the song. Lady Gaga will be nominated because she actually did help write the song. And my alternatives for this category for Song of the Year, I have The Greatest Showman song, This Is Me. So all the writers who wrote that song, This Is Me. Kendrick Lamar and SZA with All the Stars. Dan and Shay with Tequila. I don't actually know the song. I think I heard it one time, but I've been hearing a lot about the song, so I feel like it could get a nomination because they always love to have like a really big like country song to get into Song of the Year, so that could fill the slot for this year. And also some other alternatives I could probably pop in. Juice WRLD with Lucid Dreams again. Taylor Swift with Delicate again as well, and Shawn Mendes with In My Blood again. I think, even though I don't think it stands a chance of a nomination, a few people that I love to see pop up into this category that I would love to see personally, Joyner Lucas with I'm Not Racist. Man, Joyner Lucas's I'm Not Racist is literally an amazing record, y'all. Such an impactful, powerful, a beautifully written rap record, y'all. Dope song. So I would love to see again a nomination here. It's a really impactful song, but I don't think it was big enough to really like get enough votes or just enough attention on it. But that song definitely deserves a nomination for Song of the Year, in my opinion. And also Love Lies. Even though Love Lies by Khalid and Normani is a really like regular R&B song, it's so written well that I feel like, if an R&B song were to really make an impact in this category besides Boot Up, I love it to be Love Lies. So that's my pick for an R&B track in this category besides Boot Up. Love Lies, I would love that, but it's probably not gonna happen. And another interesting thing to note about Song of the Year is that there's so many parallels this year in my final picks between Record of the Year and Song of the Year. In both categories, we have Meant to Be, The Middle, God's Plan, and This Is America, and Girls Like You. So I think that's like 5 songs that I put in both categories. They're 5 of the biggest songs of the year, and I feel like all 5 of those songs will get nominations in both categories. In my opinion, I really don't feel like Girls Like You deserves a nomination for Song of the Year, but because of how big it was, I think it'll get that nomination. But I'll be happy for Cardi B. But yeah, that song to me is not that strong of a written song, but because it's so big, it'll probably get a nomination here. But let me know what y'all think about this category down below. Let me know what you think about my final 8 and about my alternatives, and who you'd love to see in this category if I did mention them in my alternatives at the end of the video. Alright y'all, now on to Album of the Year. Always one of the most exciting categories every year. In my opinion, this category is somewhat dry this year because I feel like 2018 and the end of 2017 and into 2018, this has been somewhat of a dry year for albums that were not only like really commercially successful and really big and mainstream, but also critically successful at the same time. This category, in my opinion, is filled with a lot of albums in my final picks that are really big, but maybe weren't the most best albums of the year, and albums that are really good but weren't that big of albums commercially. So, but unfortunately, there's not really a crowd pleaser, I think, in terms of album that was really commercially successful but also really critically successful as well. So I don't think there's an album that the critics will love as well as the general public. But let me know what y'all think down below. In my final 8 for Album of the Year, I have St. Vincent with Mass Education, or Mass Education. I don't know how you pronounce it. I think it's Mass Education. Taylor Swift with Reputation. The Black Panther soundtrack. Casey Musgraves with Golden Hour. Cardi B with Invasion of Privacy. Shout out Cardi B. If she gets this nomination, that'll be huge. Janelle Monáe with Dirty Computer. Another huge nomination for an R&B album. Shout out Janelle Monáe. I think it's gonna happen. I can't wait to see it happen. The Carters with Everything Is Love. One of my favorite albums of the year, still hands down. So I hope it definitely probably will get nominated. If it does get nominated, I'll be shocked. And if it does get nominated, I hope it's on its way to being a front runner, but there's a good chance it's not gonna win. But we'll talk about that later. And lastly, Drake with Scorpion. So that's what I picked for my final 8 for Album of the Year. And for alternatives, the people I think that could slip into this category, especially if they want like an older generation or like a rock or country or alternative album, which they always have to have every year, no matter how big the album was. They always gotta have like a dark horse from the worlds of like alternative or country or rock, which is fine. We want balance. It's only fair. But for those alternatives, I see them either choosing Chris Stapleton's From Maroon Volume 2, or Dave Matthews Band with Come Tomorrow, or even probably Paul McCartney's Egypt Station album. Go with the legend. Go with the legend vote. Another album that I think could possibly pop up in here, even though I don't think it will. If it does, I won't exactly be upset, although I do think it'll be somewhat of a reach, and that's Travis Scott with Astroworld. One of the biggest albums of the year, one of the biggest, most impactful albums of the year, especially with just, you know, production wise, with what the songs have done all year. But critically, in my opinion, I don't think it deserves this nomination, and it probably won't get it, but I do think it could be in contention, so I wanted to mention it really quickly. Two albums that I want to mention, not to sleep on, Post Malone's Beer Bongs and Bentleys. I personally don't want that nomination at all. Nothing against Post Malone, but I don't want that nomination. But I can see it happening because this album was so big this year. I can see it happening, but I don't want it to happen. And also, dude, it's probably not gonna happen, but I would personally love to see J. Cole's KOD get an Album of the Year nomination. Like I said, it's probably not gonna happen, but I would love to see J. Cole be nominated for Album of the Year. Totally deserves it. He totally deserves it. In my opinion, it's one of the best rap albums of the year. Not only with, you know, production, message, lyrics, delivery, just overall, you know, execution. It's one of the best projects in my opinion of the year. So I would love an Album of the Year nomination, but I know that probably won't happen. But Grammys, if y'all see this, don't sleep on your boy Cole. The album was fire. Come on, man. Okay, guys, so going back to my final 8 picks in this category, I just want to talk about the fact that I think Taylor Swift is going to be a shoo-in for this category. I'm not exactly upset with this, especially with there being 8 options. It is what it is. I'm cool with it. Black Panther, I don't think it'll get a nomination, but if it does, I'll be happy and I won't be upset at it at all. But I will be like kind of surprised, because I think it's been a while since the Grammys nominated a soundtrack for Album of the Year. I don't think that's happened since 2002 with the Old Brother Where Art Thou soundtrack. But the Black Panther soundtrack, low key, I love that soundtrack. I think it'll be a little bit weird if it got nominated for Album of the Year, because it really hasn't made that much of an impact besides the songs. But then again, nah, All the Stars and Pray For Me were really big songs this year. So I guess I can't say that. Cause yeah, the singles did do major numbers, and they really were big this year. But I just feel like the album itself, past like when it came out in February and March, it hasn't really made that much of an impact. But maybe I'm bugging. But still, Black Panther, the movie was amazing. The soundtrack is amazing. So if it did get the nomination, I'm cool with it. Casey Musgraves is probably gonna fill out the shoo-in country vote, which even though I haven't heard the album, but that's the album I keep hearing about from a lot of, you know, articles I've read. So she's probably gonna get in here. Cardi B, if she gets this nomination, honestly, I think it'll be deserved. Invasion of Privacy is such an enjoyable album. It bangs from start to finish, and Cardi B has had a great year that I feel like warrants an Album of the Year nomination in my opinion. So I think Cardi B deserves it. But let me know if y'all disagree down below. Janelle Monáe, also, to me, I don't think it's a shoo-in, but I hope she does get in. She has one of the most acclaimed projects of the year. In my opinion, one of the most creative R&B albums of the year. One of the most impactful in terms of the way it was, you know, put together and executed. It's a great project. She definitely deserves a nomination here. I hope she gets it. Shout out Janelle Monáe. You're a legend, mama. You're a legend. Keep going. You're amazing. And the Carters with Everything Is Love. I hope they get a nomination. If they don't, I guess I'm not going to be that mad, because at the end of the day, they're most likely not going to win. So I'd rather, you know, if they're not going to win Album of the Year, I'm not even going to be salty about a nomination, because that'll just be another chance that Jay-Z and Beyonce could have had to win Album of the Year where they were snubbed. So it is what it is. But I honestly, even if they don't win, I still think I'd like a nomination, because I feel like they deserve that recognition, because the album is fucking amazing, in my opinion. Drake's Scorpion album, I don't think it deserves this nomination, but it's going to be here because it's one of the biggest albums of the year, and Drake is a Grammy Golden Boy, so it is what it is. But let me know what y'all think about Album of the Year and my final picks and my alternatives, and let me know if you think any album I didn't mention should be here down below. Alright, y'all, the last general category for 2019, we're going to talk about Best New Artist. Always a very exciting but very annoying category, because it's so unpredictable, not only for who's going to be nominated, but then when the nominations actually do come out, it's always hard to predict who will actually win. This is always the hardest category every freaking year. But for Best New Artist, in my before I mention my final picks, I just want to mention, unfortunately I can't name these people because of Grammy rules, they can't be nominated for Best New Artist, and that's Cardi B, Post Malone, and Camila Cabello. I think it's low-key a sin that those 3 artists are not going to be able to be nominated for Best New Artist, because those 3 artists were 3 of the biggest artists in 2018. And because of different rules, they won't be able to nominate themselves for Best New Artist. But I feel like all 3 of those artists should have been shoo-ins for Best New Artist this year, in my opinion. Cardi B can't be nominated because of her 2 Grammy nominations last year. Because Bodak Yellow was nominated for 2 Grammys as opposed to 1, she can't be nominated for Best New Artist. I think the rule is that if you were nominated for 1 Grammy before, you can be nominated for Best New Artist. But if you were nominated for 2 or more Grammys, you can't be submitted, which I think is bullshit, but that's what the rules are. So that's why Cardi B can't be nominated. Post Malone can't be nominated because of all his success dating back to like 2016 and 2017. So pretty much the Grammys are saying like Post Malone isn't really a new artist, which is true, but I still feel like he deserves this nomination because he really came into prominence in this Grammy year. But he's not gonna get the nomination because of all his success in previous years. So it is what it is. But I personally think he should have been nominated this year. And lastly, Camila Cabello, she can't be nominated apparently because of her time in Fifth Harmony, which I also think is bullshit. But you know, at the end of the day, Beyonce wasn't nominated for Best New Artist when she came out as a solo artist back in 2003 because of her time in Destiny's Child. So I think that's been a long-standing rule. So it is what it is. You know, at the end of the day, if you came out of a group, you can't be nominated as a solo artist. I get it, especially if your group was nominated for Grammys. Fifth Harmony wasn't nominated for Grammys, but she still was. You know, Fifth Harmony still had a lot of success. So I think that's why Camila can't be nominated. But I still think she deserved that nomination this year. She's one of the best new artists of 2018, whether in a group or solo. But it is what it is. So those 3 deserve nominations, but they're not going to get them. In my final 8 for Best New Artist, besides those 3, I have Bebe Rexha, Billie Eilish, Dua Lipa, Ella Mai, Her, Juice WRLD, Greta Van Fleet, and Kane Brown. So those are artists I have my final 8. I only know some of these artists, but I really picked these last 8 because I feel like these are the most I heard about. If it's an artist I love, I put them there. Like Dua Lipa, Ella Mai, Her, Juice WRLD, Bebe Rexha. The other 3 artists, Billie Eilish, Greta Van Fleet, and Kane Brown, I don't really know their music like that, but I've been hearing a lot about them, possibly being nominated for this category. And I've also just been hearing a lot about their names, like in music and in general. So I think they stand a good shot at being nominated for Best New Artist. For this category, I really feel like Dua Lipa's gonna be a shoo-in. She's been really doing her thing. She's like a new incoming pop, you know, electronic dance chick. She's literally like, you know, racking up hits low-key. I love Dua Lipa, so I think she definitely deserves this nomination. I think she's gonna be a shoo-in. Ella Mai and Her, to me, I think are definitely gonna be nominated. I'm not sure if both of them will be nominated together because I feel like the Grammys are very fickle with R&B and the general categories. So I feel like they're gonna probably pick one over the other. I think they'll probably go with Ella Mai if they don't pick both. But I think both of them deserve Best New Artist. Ella Mai has come up and done her thing. She showed her hit singles, Trip and Boot Up, and her album is probably gonna, you know, do some damage with all the heat on that album. Her has been coming up for a long time now, but she really came into prominence this year, and she has really set the foundation for an amazing career. She's an amazing talent, an amazing artist. So I feel like a Best New Artist stamp will be very appropriate this year. If not this year, maybe she'll get it next year, but I think she deserves it this year. But she, I think, is the one that's vulnerable for her position in Best New Artist. Juice WRLD, I'm not sure if he's gonna get nominated as well, but I would love to see that nomination because I feel like Juice WRLD is really one of those rap artists that really has the potential to really be, I'm not gonna say a legend, but he really has the potential to really be one of the most impactful artists, I think, coming up in this new generation. I think he still has a lot to give the world. I still think he has a lot to prove, and he has so much more in his wheelhouse. I just want to start talking about drugs on every song. But Juice WRLD, I think, is a really talented dude, and I'm not sure if he's exactly gonna get the Grammy respect that I feel like he deserves. He's definitely gonna get nominations for Lucid Dreams, but I'm not sure if he'll get nominated for Best New Artist. But I feel like he deserves it because I feel like he's definitely gonna be a problem soon, especially when he develops more. So I feel like Best New Artist would be warranted, but I'm not sure if he'll be nominated. But let me know what y'all think about Juice WRLD down below. Greta Van Fleet, I'm not too familiar with them, but I feel like they fit the bill for the rock group that they always love to have every year in Best New Artist. I've really been hearing a lot about them, so I feel like they'll be nominated. And Kane Brown, I don't know much about him too, but he fills in the country, you know, incoming country star votes. I think he definitely has a good shot at being nominated. But let me know what y'all think about those guys down below. For my alternatives, I have Hayley Kiyoko, Bazzi, even though I don't want him to be nominated, Bazzi could be in contention, and also Luke Combs as another like country alternative vote. Really just country. But yeah, so those are my alternatives. I think if one of those artists I named in my final 8 don't get picked, it could be in place of one of the 3 guys I just mentioned below. Alright, y'all, but that's my final pick for best new artist. Let me know what y'all think about the category and my picks for the final 8 and my alternatives down below. And if there's any artists I didn't mention who you think should be nominated, let me know down below as well. Alright, y'all, now I'm gonna get into the rap categories. We're gonna start off with rap. To start off everything else, we're gonna do rap first, and we're gonna start off with best rap performance. So for best rap performance, guys, in my final 5 nominations, I have Drake with Nice for What, Nicki Minaj with Chun Li, I still love that song, The Carters with APESHIT, J. Cole with ATM, and Travis Scott and Drake with Sicko Mode. So that's why I have my final 5, guys. Other songs I think pop into this category are Jordan Lucas's I'm Not Racist. I don't think it'll get a nomination, but I really think it deserves it. Like I said, Song of the Year. So I hope it pops up in here. I would love to see it pop up in here, you know, as an alternative. And also J-Rock, Kendrick Lamar, Future, and James Blake with King's Dead, or maybe even J-Rock's song Win could pop up in here, even though it wasn't really a big hit. Also, Cardi B with Be Careful could pop up in here. I could definitely see that. And also Eminem with Kill Shot, and also Lil Wayne and Kendrick Lamar with Mona Lisa. So they have way more alternatives that you can look at the end of the video, but those are my main 5 and my main alternatives. But let me know what y'all think about this category down below. Now on to best rap song performance, one of my favorite categories every year, because it, you know, beautifully melts together both of my favorite worlds, the worlds of R&B and hip hop together. So for best rap song performance, in my final 5, I have for this year Post Malone and 21 Savage with Rockstar, Juice WRLD with Lucid Dreams, Childish Gambino with This Is America, Cardi B, Bad Bunny, and J Balvin with I Like It, and Drake with In My Feelings. And also for alternative options for this category, I have way more that you can check out the end, but my main alternatives for this category I'll say are Kendrick Lamar and SZA with All the Stars, XXXTentacion with Sad, I'm sad, I'm sad, Kanye West with All Mine. If the Grammys want to give some love to Kanye this year, which I don't think they will, but if they do, they could give him some love here with All Mine. Lil Duval, Snoop Dogg, and Ball Greasy with Smile, Living My Best Life. I love that record. I don't think it'll be nominated for any Grammys, but it deserves some in my opinion, because that song is amazing and timeless, timeless classic hip hop record in my opinion, timeless. And lastly, Lil Wayne and XXXTentacion with Don't Cry. Even though that's an album track, it made a big impact this year toward, you know, back in September when the Carter 5 dropped. So I could see it sneaking a nomination here, but I doubt it will. But let me know what y'all think about my final 5. I really feel good about my final 5. I feel like the final 5 I picked are the 5 that will actually like really make it to the end for this category. But if anybody doesn't make it, I feel like they'll make it to one of the alternatives I mentioned. But also, there could be a song that I'm not thinking about, or that's not even in my full list of alternatives that I'm not thinking about. So let me know what y'all think about this category down below. Who would y'all nominate that I probably didn't mention? Let me know down below. Alright, y'all, now we're on to best rap song. So for best rap song, in my final 5 nominations, I have Post Malone and 21 Savage with Rockstar, Drake with God's Plan, Juice WRLD with Lucid Dreams, Cardi B with Be Careful, and Childish Gambino with This Is America. And then in my alternative options, people I feel like could sneak into this category, I have Joyner Lucas with I'm Not Racist. Although I don't think the song will get nominated, I think it deserves it, like I said before, and I love this song, so I'd love to see it come here as well, but it probably won't. XXXTentacion with Sad. I could definitely see it getting a nomination here. Nicki Minaj with Barbie Dreams. I honestly, if this song got nominated for a Grammy, Barbie Dreams got nominated for a Grammy, I honestly would not be that mad, because it's such a well-written song. Even though it's off of a sample, you know, at least in terms of the lyrics, Nicki Minaj bodied that song. She killed it. So I definitely want to be mad if she got nominated here. But I wonder what would happen if Cardi B and Nicki Minaj were nominated in the same category. Let me not be messy. Let me not be messy in this video. But I wonder how that would happen. I think the way things pan out in my nominations, I don't think Cardi B and Nicki Minaj were running to each other in any category. But if they did, that'd be funny. And also some other alternatives for best rap song. I have the Carters with APESHIT, Lil Duval, Snoop Dogg, and Ball Greasy with Smile, Living My Best Life. That song I think deserves a nomination for best rap song in my opinion. We probably won't get it, but I will give it that nomination because it's an amazing rap song. Go look at those. Go listen to those lyrics. It's amazing. It's a great rap record. It's amazing. And also J. Cole with ATM. Probably won't get this nomination, but I would love it too personally. Alright y'all, but I feel pretty good about my final 5 for this category. I really feel like the 5 I picked are going to be the 5 that'll be in contention at the end. But let me know if there's anybody that you think I didn't mention that I should. You know, look through my full list of alternative options. But even if you still see an artist or song that I didn't mention that you think that should be mentioned in this category, let me know down below as well. Alright y'all, now we're on to best rap album. Always one of the most exciting categories every year. A lot of people love to talk about this category, myself included. This is always a very competitive category. It's always a very like emotional one for rap fans. I get it. You know, having the Grammys declare the best rap album of the year is always such a weird thing. A lot of times they get it wrong. Sometimes they get it right, but most times they really get it wrong. But for this year, I actually have 6 nominations. This has been such a heavy, such a big year for hip hop that I feel like they're gonna give rap albums 6 nominations as opposed to the regular 5. And if they make it 5, it is what it is. But I think they'll make it 6. So for my 6 nominations for this category, I have the Black Panther soundtrack, Cardi B with Invasion of Privacy, J. Cole with KOD, Drake with Scorpion, Travis Scott with Astroworld, and Lil Wayne with the Carter 5. Those are the albums I picked for my final 6. I feel really good about that. You know, I feel really good that lineup. But this is always a category where you never know what's gonna happen. You really never know what's gonna happen. They can all pick a really random album that we all love, but we didn't think was gonna happen. For my alternative options for this category, I have Pusha T with his Daytona album, Kanye West with his Ye album. I know y'all are over Kanye, but in a crazy world, I could see him getting a nomination for Ye, but it probably won't happen. Mac Miller with Swimming. I feel like that could be a nice like little send-off nomination for Mac Miller's life. I could definitely see it happening. He probably wouldn't win if he was nominated, but I think a nomination would be suffice enough. So I wouldn't be mad at seeing that as well. Nicki Minaj with the Queen album could definitely pop up in here. I don't think she'll be nominated this year, but she could be, so I'm not gonna count her out. And also Eminem with his Kamikaze album. I don't want Kamikaze to be nominated, but because of how big Eminem is, and because he's always such a Grammy, he's a Grammy darling. He's always nominated like every year he comes out. I could see him getting a nomination for best rap album, but I don't want him to, because Kamikaze was good, but I don't think it should be nominated for a Grammy, in my opinion. But let me know what y'all think about it down below. Other albums for best rap album that I think should be that deserve the nomination, even though they're probably not gonna get them. Some other albums I would mention: Big Crit's Forever's a Mighty Long Time. That is an amazing project that I feel like everyone just forgot about, but that project is amazing. Sci-Hi the Prince, No Dope on Sundays, another dope late 2017 project that was just amazing. Shout out to Sci-Hi the Prince. What are some other albums I want to mention? Nipsey Hussle's Victory Lap was another amazing rap album this year that I would love to see a nomination for, but I probably won't get it. And what else could I mention? J-Rock's Redemption. That is a great project. And also No Name's Room 25. Probably one of the most creative and just beautifully complex but beautifully like executed like jazz rap albums of the year. That Room 25 is an amazing album. Shout out to No Name. She killed the album. That's the type of album that deserves a Grammy nomination for best rap album. But because she's so not well known like that, she probably won't get that nomination. But in my world, man, she probably would be up for a nomination in my world. But let me know what y'all think about this category down below. After you looked at my full list of alternatives, if there's any rap album I didn't mention that you think should be nominated, let me know down below. If I didn't hear it, I obviously can't put it down. If I did hear it but I didn't put it on my list, let me know why you think it should be nominated, and I'll talk with y'all down in the comments below. Alright, y'all, now we're gonna move on to the pop category. So for all my pop fans out there, get ready. I hope y'all ready for my nominations. I think y'all like them. We're gonna start off with best pop solo performance. So for best pop solo performance, in my final 5 for this category, I have Taylor Swift with Delicate, Shawn Mendes with In My Blood, Post Malone with Better Now, Ariana Grande with God Is a Woman, Camila Cabello with Havana Live as my last nomination for this category. So for my final 5, I feel really good about that 5. I definitely think it's not going to be perfect, and obviously other things could pop in, but I feel really good about that 5. Other songs I feel like it slipped into this category are Halsey's Bad at Love. I love that song. This Is Me by The Greatest Showman cast. I think that was Kayla Settle. Sam Smith's Pray. Kelly Clarkson's I Don't Think About You. That was a really nice performed song. Shout out to Kelly Clarkson. Great vocal on that song. Selena Gomez with Back to You. That was a sleeper hit this year. And also Dua Lipa with New Rules Live. The live version. So this is going to be a cool category to see how it pans out. I think my final 5 is some of those are pretty much going to be in there. I think Shawn Mendes is vulnerable for his spot, as is Post Malone. But I think Ariana Grande, Camila Cabello, and Taylor Swift are pretty much locks for the songs that they put in this category. But the guys are vulnerable. But let me know what y'all think about this category down below. Let me also know what you think about my alternative options, and if there's any pop songs I didn't mention that you think should be nominated for Best Pop Soul Performance that I don't have my full list for alternative options, let me know down below. Alright, now we're on to Best Pop Duo Group Performance. So for this category, my final 5, I chose Ed Sheeran and Beyoncé with Perfect Duet, or I guess it's called Perfect, I'm not sure. Perfect or Perfect Duet. Zedd, Maren Morris, and Grey with The Middle. 5 Seconds of Summer with Young Blood. Maroon 5 and Cardi B with Girls Like You. And Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper with Shallow from A Star Is Born soundtrack. I think this final 5 looks pretty good. Not trying to toot my own horn again, but I think this final 5 looks pretty good, but you never know what's going to happen come Grammy nomination morning, so let's see what happens. Other songs I think could slip into this category are Kendrick Lamar and The Weeknd with Pray For Me. Post Malone and Ty Dolla $ign with Psycho. Panic! At the Disco with High Hopes. Florence and the Machine with Hunger. And Christina Aguilera and Demi Lovato with Fall in Line. Even though that song wasn't really a hit this year, if the Grammys want to go for like a critical song in the Best Pop Duo Group Performance category, they could go with Christina Aguilera and Demi Lovato, because that song was an amazing record. I love that song. Amazing lyrics, good message, good vocals. So I definitely would be bad at a nomination, but probably won't get it. And lastly, if it doesn't go to Best Dance Recording, I could probably see Marshmello and Bastille's Happier popping up in this category. I think my final 5 look pretty good, but if there's anybody I feel like it's in jeopardy of their position, I'd probably say 5 Seconds of Summer with Youngblood. They probably are not going to be guaranteed a nomination, but I think they will get it. But that was Best Pop Duo Group Performance. Let me know what y'all think about my final 5 and my alternatives down below in the comments. Alright y'all, moving on to Best Pop Vocal Album. So the Best Pop Album of the year. I think this is also going to be a year where they're going to pick 6 albums, 10. They're going to pick 6 albums as opposed to 5. And if they do pick 6, in my final 6, I have Pink with Beautiful Trauma. Kelly Clarkson with Meaning of Life. Sam Smith with The Thrill of It All. Taylor Swift with Reputation. Camila Cabello with the Camilla debut album. And Ariana Grande with Sweetener. That's what I have in my final 6 for this year. For alternatives, I have Maroon 5 with Red Pill Blues. Even though that album wasn't critically loved, it had a lot of big songs off of it, so I could definitely see him getting a nomination. Post Malone with Beer Bongs and Bentleys. His album won't be put in the Best Rap Album category. They're gonna put it here because it has a lot of like pop leaning songs, so they can't put it in Best Rap Album. So because of that, because this album is so big, I could see it getting a nomination here, but I don't want it to, in my opinion, personally. Another alternative could be Shawn Mendes' self-titled album, Shawn Mendes. And also Panic! At the Disco's Pray for the Wicked, and also Florence and the Machine's High as Hope. These are all really pretty good albums, guys, so it's hard for me to kind of pick my final 6, but I think I tried my best. Another album that I don't think will definitely be nominated, but I still loved it at the end of the day, and that's Justin Timberlake's Man of the Woods. That was one of my first like really popular videos that I ever did on my channel for that album. So shout out to Justin Timberlake for that. But I love that album, really I still love that album. I think it's a great album. I think a lot of people just kind of dismissed it because of Justin Timberlake's involvement with Janet's stuff back in the Super Bowl, which I get. But you know, if you're really being subjective, that album was really a great album in my opinion. Not all the tracks, but most of the tracks were really good. So it's probably not going to gonna get a nomination, but I would not be mad if it did, but it probably won't get it. Yeah, it probably won't. But let me know what y'all think about my final 6 for this category. I feel really good about it. I think the one person that's probably vulnerable for their spot is probably, or the 2 people are probably, I'm gonna say, or probably 3 people actually. I think Pink, Kelly Clarkson, and Camila Cabello. I want them to get those nominations, but I think those are 3 albums that are probably, if they do get replaced, it'll probably be those 3 albums. But let me know what y'all think about this category down below. Alright, y'all, we're gonna end up with my shit, my favorite genre. Y'all know I'm the R&B kid. Now we're gonna do the R&B categories. Let's get it. R&B, let's go, baby, let's get it. Alright, y'all, now we're on to the R&B categories. We're gonna start off with the best R&B performance. And my final 5 for this category, guys, I have Khalid and Normani with Love Lies. One of my favorite songs of the year. Like I've said, I love this record, y'all. It's definitely gonna get a nomination here, and it deserves it. It also will probably be nominated for best song written for visual media, because it was part of the Love Simon soundtrack, so that'll be cool to see. But, well, I don't know if it'll happen, but that'll be cool to see get that nomination as well. Daniel Caesar and Her with Best Part. One of the best R&B songs that's been circulating all year, in my opinion. Amazing vocals, amazing lyrics, just an amazing song by Daniel Caesar and Her. That to me is a classic R&B record for our generation. They killed that record, and it better be nominated for a Grammy. And also Ella Mai with Boo'd Up is definitely gonna be shooing. One of the biggest R&B songs of the year. It's definitely gonna be nominated here, and it probably has a good chance of winning, but I don't think it's gonna win, but it probably has a good chance of winning. And also Toni Braxton with Long As I Live, and Leon Bridges with Beyond. I think the songs that stand a good chance of not being nominated are probably going to be Toni Braxton and Leon Bridges' songs. Not because they're not good, but because Toni Braxton is a veteran who only really had success on adult R&B radio and urban radio. And Leon Bridges' Beyond wasn't really a big hit, beyond urban radio this year, compared to Love Lies, Best Part, and Boo'd Up. So those songs are probably vulnerable, but they're amazing songs. So I'd love to see them get a nomination, which is why I put them in my final 5. Songs that I feel like will pop up into this category, people that I think can show up, I would say The Weeknd with Call Out My Name, Janelle Monáe with I Like That, Queen Naija with Medicine or Karma, either one, The Internet with Come Over, The Carters with Summer. I saw that they submitted that track for this category, so it could be nominated. You never know what's gonna happen. And lastly, Childish Gambino with Feels Like Summer. If anybody is gonna replace somebody in the final 5, I feel like it definitely will be Childish Gambino with Feels Like Summer. I feel like Childish is gonna have another really good year at the Grammys, and if This Is America is not the only song that he's gonna go for, I really feel like the Grammys can give him a lot of support in R&B with Feels Like Summer. So we could probably see that happening too. But I feel pretty good about my final 5 as usual, but let me know what y'all think about this category down below. After looking through my alternatives, let me know if there's a lot of alternatives for this category, because like R&B is my shit. But let me know if there's anybody you think I didn't mention who should be nominated for best R&B performance. Let me know down below. Appreciate y'all. Alright, y'all, so by no means am I an expert in this category, because I really don't keep up with that much traditional R&B these days. But for best traditional R&B performance, I put out some nominations I think could happen, so I'm just going to mention them. And that's Charlie Wilson and Lila Hathaway with Made for Love, Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings with Matter of Time. I've been hearing a lot about that song. I doubt it'll get this nomination, but I know I saw that it was submitted, so I'll put it out there. Justin Timberlake and Alicia Keys with Morning Light off of the Man the Woods album. That was a great song, so I wouldn't be mad at that nomination at all, personally. I think the song would definitely get a nomination here, and that's Leon Bridges with Bet Ain't Worth the Hands. I think that's definitely gonna land the nomination. And also Luke James with These Arms. That is one of the best, vocally produced in just one of the best R&B ballads that's come out all year. It's a great record. I would love to see it get a nomination here. Luke James has really been kind of out of the realm of music and what's going on, so I don't know if he has enough eyes on him to get a nomination, but I hope he does, because he deserves it. Some other songs that could pop up into this category are Toni Braxton's Deadwood, possibly. I predicted that it would be nominated last year, but it wasn't. But it could be nominated this year again, so let's see what happens. And also Sam Henshaw's How Does It Feel, and Mary J. Blige with Only Love. Even though I don't really like that Mary J. Blige song, it could be nominated, so you never know what's gonna happen. So let's see. There's probably gonna be a lot of songs I don't know about or that I didn't think about that will be nominated in this category. But even with my nominations, let me know what you think down below. Alright y'all, so now we're moving on to Best R&B Song. So for Best R&B Song, this is more about the lyrics of an R&B song rather than just the performance. In my final 5, I have Her with Focus, Khalid and Normani again with Love Lies, Ella Mai with Boo'd Up. I think it's going to be the winner, honestly, in this category. Let's see what happens. Leon Bridges with Beyond, and Janelle Monáe with I Like That. In my alternative options for this category, my main ones, I have Toni Braxton again with Long As I Live. That's a great written song. The Weeknd with Call Out My Name. Queen Naija with Medicine or Karma. And lastly, Childish Gambino again with Feels Like Summer. I feel pretty good about this, my final 5, but obviously you never know what's gonna happen. I would love to see all these nominations pan out because I feel like they're all deserved, especially Janelle Monáe, Khalid and Normani. Yeah, especially those two, I feel like I really deserve. And Her. Focus is a great written song too, so those nominations I really want to see pan out. But you never know what's gonna happen. But let me know what y'all think about Best R&B Song and my nomination predictions down below. Alright y'all, now we're on to Best Urban Contemporary Album. As I told y'all last year, I hate the title for this category, but it's still one of my favorite categories every year because this is like my wheelhouse. I feel like this category should be named Best Contemporary / Alternative R&B Album. I feel like that would be the best title for it, but they named it Best Urban Contemporary Album. I hate that shit, but it is what it is. So for this category, for my final 5, I have Miguel with War and Leisure. Still a great album. Go check it out if you haven't already. Kali Uchis with Isolation. Probably one of the most, honestly, one of the most sophisticated, really well put together, contemporary R&B albums of the year that really kind of went under the radar. But that is a great album. So I hope it lands a nomination. And also Janelle Monáe with Dirty Computer. The Carters with Everything Is Love. And finally, Black with East Atlanta Love Letter. So this has been a good year for urban contemporary albums. I think the locks in this category are Janelle Monáe and the Carters because they'll most likely be nominated for Album of the Year. It's like in this category, in terms of the win, will be between them. But in terms of nominations, I feel pretty good about Miguel, Kali Uchis, and Black. I definitely think Miguel and Black are getting in. Kali Uchis is the one that's vulnerable for her spot. In terms of my alternatives, I also have Kelela with Take Me Apart. Aaron Ray with Platinum Fire. That is a really good album that I feel like kind of just went under the radar. Y'all should go check it out. Platinum Fire is a great R&B album. And also Chloe and Halle with The Kids Are Alright. These girls at their age are making music that's so sophisticated and so grown and so mature and so well done that it's unbelievable. They're so new and they're not well known to the point that I don't think they actually snag a nomination. But if they did get it, it will be so deserved because that album is amazing. I want it to be in the final 5, but I know they're not gonna get it because they're not known enough. And also for other alternatives, I also have The Weeknd with My Dear Melancholy. Even though it's an EP, because it's probably one of the biggest projects in this whole lineup, it could probably get a nomination. It's probably one of the biggest R&B albums of the year. It went #1 on the 200, so you know. And also, even though I've not heard this album, I've heard a lot about it, and that's Blood Orange with Blood Orange with Negro Swan. I haven't heard this album, but I've heard a lot about it, so it could probably land a nomination in this category. And even though they probably would not land a nomination, Van Jess's album Silk Canvas, I love this album. I love Van Jess, and this album is so good that I feel like they deserve a nomination in this category. But similarly to Chloe and Halle, they're another duo that's really coming in the R&B scene, and because they're so new, I don't think they have enough eyes on them. But their album is amazing. So if it landed a nomination, I would love that, but it probably won't. But let me know what y'all think about this category, guys. I feel pretty good about my final 5. I think the final 5 I have are pretty much will make it. Kali Uchis maybe not, but we'll see what happens. She deserves a nomination regardless. And like I said, the win is probably going to be between Janelle Monáe and the Carters because those are the only two albums that will probably be nominated for Album of the Year. So it's between them. But let me know what y'all think about this category down below. Alright y'all, last category for R&B, we're going to talk about Best R&B Album. I think this is obviously, as an R&B lover, this is a very important category to me, but it always ends up being a very shifty category, especially in the last few years. There have been a lot of random nominations in this category, so let's see what happens this year. But I hope they do right this year and actually nominate the right group of albums. And my final 5 for this year, I have Hers, her self-titled debut compilation album. Even though it's not really a even though it's not really a studio album, that album is so good that even though it's a compilation album, I feel like it deserves a nomination because it's just chock full of good R&B songs from her Volume 1 and her Volume 2 and other songs that didn't make either of those EPs by her. So I think her will definitely get a nomination in this category for her compilation album, as deserved. And also Toni Braxton with her Sex and Cigarettes album. Leon Bridges with his Good Thing album, Georgia Smith with the Lost and Found album, and lastly The Internet with Hive Mind. I think this 5 seemed pretty solid to me. I think the one person who's probably likely to not get a nomination out of these 4 will probably be Toni Braxton. Not because the album wasn't good, but only because it was a really short album and because it really kind of came and went. And Toni Braxton's a legend. She has mad Grammys under her belt, so she's good. But Toni Braxton might not get nominated in favor of maybe a newer artist who still is trying to earn their stripes in the industry. And in terms of my alternatives, I could see maybe Snow Allegra getting a nomination with her Feels album. That was a really good project that really just kind of came and went, but that was a really good project. Really good R&B vibes. Really like dope project. Maybe as another send-off nomination for her recent passing, Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings with Soul of a Woman. I've not heard that album, but I heard it was a really good album. And also, lastly, Masego with Lady Lady. Masego is pretty, I want to say, like he's not really known, I think, in the mainstream circles, but he might have enough pull to land a nomination from people who are kind of, who are really focused on the underground scene in R&B. Because he, in my opinion, is one of the best R&B projects out this year, in my opinion. So if you're not checked out my video for it, my reaction to this album, go check it out. The Lady Lady album is simply amazing, so definitely go check out that album. Some other albums that I feel like, and also don't sleep on Tiana Taylor's KTSE album. Even though that album was really short, that album was still really good, and the promotion rollout was fucked up. Shout out to Good Music, but y'all fucked up that rollout and that promotion, but that album was really still good regardless. A lot of really good R&B songs on that album, so it could land a nomination, you never know. But don't sleep on Tiana Taylor. And also some other albums I don't think will land a nomination, but I'll talk about them because they could. Tamia's Passion Like Fire album, and also Marsha Ambrosius's Nyla album. And I'll have the fuller list of all my alternative options at the end of the video, so go check out that. I feel pretty good about my final 5 for this category, but as always, you never know what's gonna happen. But let me know what y'all think about this category and who y'all would have mentioned if there's someone I didn't mention in the comments down below. Alright y'all, so I'm not going to talk about these categories for too long. I'm just going to talk about them really quickly, and that's Best Music Video and Producer of the Year, if you're interested. For Best Music Video, this is not going to be perfect because there's probably a ton of songs, and ton of music videos I've not seen that will probably be nominated. But for music videos I think could be nominated in this category this year, Joyner Lucas, I'm Not Racist, Jay-Z and Beyonce with Family Feud, or their song Ape Shit, either one, more likely Ape Shit probably. Dua Lipa with I Don't Give a Fuck, or I Don't Give a Fuck. That is a great music video. And Childish Gambino with This Is America. I think he's gonna be a shoo-in, but also if the Grammys don't want to be controversial, they probably won't nominate him, but they should. If they don't, shame on the Academy. That is one of the best videos that's been out this year, so y'all have to nominate This Is America. It has to be nominated, come on. And also some other alternatives in Best Music Video that I have could be Camila Cabello's Havana, Drake's God's Plan, even though I don't want that song to be nominated for Best Music Video, in my opinion. Taylor Swift's Delicate, maybe. Janelle Monáe's Pink, that's a great video. J. Cole's ATM, another great video. Maroon 5 and Cardi B with Girls Like You. Even though that video was kind of dry, I think the message behind it could maybe warranted a nomination with, in this woman empowerment movement we're in right now. And also lastly, speaking of women empowerment, Ariana Grande with God Is a Woman. Those are videos I can see probably getting a nomination. Most of them are probably not going to get one. I think the only song in this category I think is definitely going to get it is probably This Is America. All the other ones, we'll see what happens. And Producer of the Year, in my final 5 for Producer of the Year, I'm probably missing out on some like alternative or country or like rock producers. But in terms of producers I actually know about, in my final 5 I put Frank Dukes. he had a really good year with a lot of people. Louis Bell, I'm not sure how you pronounce his name, but he had a really big year. He had a lot of hits out this year, so Louis Bell will probably get nominated, as well as Max Martin. Max Martin had a really big year with a lot of pop artists. Murder Beats really did his thing in hip-hop this year, so I could probably see him getting a nomination here, maybe. And also another hip-hop producer could be Pharrell Williams as well. Pharrell didn't produce that many songs, and that, you know, he didn't produce on that many albums, but the work he did put out this year was really great. So he could probably get a nomination, but he most likely won't. Some other producers that could be nominated probably are Emily Haney, Greg Kurstin, Jack Antonoff, Mike Dean, and because he actually did a lot of shit this year, maybe even Kanye West, but most likely, most of these probably will not pan out, but those are people who I think are definitely in contention. So if you're interested in these categories, let me know what your thoughts are down below. Alright y'all, but that was my, you know, my breakdown of my predictions for the 2019 Grammy nominations. Let me know what y'all thought about this video, you know, down below. Give me all your thoughts. I give you guys my nomination predictions. Let me know if you thought I was reaching on anything. If there's anybody I mentioned that shouldn't be nominated, let me know. If there's anybody that I missed, let me know down below as well. Don't kill me. If there's a song or artist or album that I didn't mention, it's probably because I didn't hear it. And if I did hear it and I didn't mention it, then we'll talk about it down below. Just let me know all your thoughts down below and we'll talk, okay? And also make sure you look at all the pictures of my full list of alternative options, which I'll have right after this, so you make sure you don't miss anything that I didn't mention in the actual video itself. All right, in terms of the narrative for this year, it's looking like where, you know, we have some clear stars rising to the top for the nominations this year, namely Cardi B, Drake, Beyonce, and Childish Gambino. So I'm looking forward to seeing those nominations pan out, but as always guys, we never know what's going to happen until the Grammy nominations actually do come out on December 5th. So when those come out, I'll check back with you guys and I'll make another video to reflect on how I did and to talk about who I think will win when the nominations come out. So I'll check back with you guys then, okay? But in the meantime guys, leave comments below, look at all my nominations and think about them. I want to hear your feedback. I appreciate y'all for watching. All right, if you haven't already, hit this video with a like, share this video, and subscribe to my channel. I appreciate y'all. And like I always say guys, live your best life, drink more water, stay woke, and if you're mad or sad, go listen to your favorite song to make you feel better, okay? Go listen to your favorite song. But this has been your boy Brights, the R&B kid. Thank you for watching, but for now, I'm signing off, baby. Bye, y'all.